evening all. My name is Warren Bishop and welcome along to the Commentary Hub for some Friday night football in the EFL Championship. It's from East Yorkshire as Hull City welcome West Bromwich Albion to the MKM Stadium. The Tigers will be in desperate need to end their winless run of 4 matches to consolidate their place in mid-table and not be drawn into a relegation scrap. But that will be no easy feat, with Hull City losing their last 6 games against tonight's opposition. Meanwhile, for West Brom and Carlos Corberán, another 3 points will put them on the periphery of the playoff places, but they will have to sort out their form on the road as they have lost their last 4 away matches in all competitions. The teams have just emerged from the tunnel, so we will get on with the team news, and we'll start with the host Hull City, who make 4 changes from their 1-0 defeat at Bristol City, as Coyle, Elder, Longman and Tete come in for Christie, Greaves, Ebiaway and Estupiñán. So it's a 4-2-3-1 formation for with Carl Darlow in goal, Coyle, Jones, McLaughlin and Elder as the back 4 with Doherty and Simons in midfield. Longman, Tufan and Slater will support Tete up front. For the Baggies, it's just the one change from the victory over Middlesbrough, and injuries have plagued the Baggies after that Middlesbrough victory, with Brandon Thomas-Asante, Grady Diangana, Carlin Grant, Jake Livermore, Tom Rogic, Carl Barley and Alex Palmer all sidelined through injuries. One change is that on loan Leicester man Mark Albrighton comes in for Diangana. So it is another 4-2-3-1 formation for West Brom, with Josh Griffiths starting in goal, Darnell Furlong, Dara O'Shea, Eric Peters and Connor Townsend in the back 4, with Jason Malumbi and Oka Yakushlu in the midfield. Jed Wallace and Mark Albrighton are together, with John Swift supporting the lone striker Daryl Dike, who will be looking to impress again after his brace against Middlesbrough. So here we are, the referees and the linesmen shaking hands and ready to get on with proceedings. Don't forget that you can follow the Commentary Hub on Twitter and Facebook. We're on our social media platforms. The Twitter is at Commentary Live 1, and our Facebook page is www.facebook.com/The Commentary Hub. Well, we're just about to get underway. West Bromwich Albion kicking us off with John Swift over the ball from left to right. You've got Hull City in their traditional orange and amber stripes, and West Brom in their third strip, which is a red shirt with blue shorts and white socks. Pivotal game in the Championship, particularly for West Brom, as they look to get back into the playoff picture. And it's Eric Peters standing over the ball, who knocks it to his centre-half partner, Dara O'Shea. O'Shea looking up, finds Yakushlu. Back to O'Shea, who drives the ball forward. An impressive ball there for John Swift, whose clip ball forward doesn't quite work out, but he retains the ball in the end and goes back to O'Shea. Now into Yakushlu, present in the Albion midfield in the Premier League, and that's a good ball forward into Daryl Dike as he looks to turn it. He gets to the byline, but he just runs out of room, and that will be a Hull City goal kick. But that's a very positive start from the away side under Carlos Corberán as they look to get a much needed 3 points over their opponents tonight. So Hull City will take the goal kick with on loan Newcastle keeper Carl Darlow. Carlos Corberán there down on one knee as he analyses every player's performance. He goes into very great detail as West Brom manager about how his players perform. It's Mark Albrighton getting in the thick of the action there as he flicks the ball off Coyle, and that will be a West Brom throw just inside Hull's half. Liam Rosenior looking on. He's done very well. He took over Hull City when they were just 1 point above the bottom 3. They're now 11 points clear of the drop zone going into tonight's game. Darnell Furlong's ball over to Jed Wallace, who's not quite on the pitch, and it will go out for a Hull City throw on the right-hand side. Taken by Elder. Gets it forward to Tete, who trying to hold off the combination of Yakushlu and Malumbi. It's good work from Longman in there, but Yakushlu stabs the ball back to Furlong. And it's O'Shea to Peters. Peters looking up for an option. Goes for a crossfield ball wide to Jed Wallace, but it's over his head again. But West Brom trying to spread the ball wide, get into pockets of space and try and hurt this Hull City team, which of course is something that Carlos Corberán always wants his side to do. As Hull City take the throw. They go back to Carl Darlow. Now it's a long ball from Coyle, dealt with by Townsend, who hoists it to Yakushla and Malumbi. That wide to Albrighton, he looks up straight away and tries to set John Swift away down the left-hand side, but it's Jones who just lets the ball run out of play for another Hull City goal kick. Both sides yet to really get a decent spell on the ball here. A lot of goal kicks and throws at the moment, which I'm sure will suit Hull City. They will want West Brom to be as wasteful as possible on the ball as they try and get something out of this game. Darlow goes long to Teta, who comes in for Estupinian, which was a very big call from Liam Rossini to make. Estupinian, the club's top scorer with 12 goals, scored a brace against West Brom in their 5-2 defeat last August. As the ball is picked up in midfield by Doherty. He spreads it wide to the back post as the cross, and that's well dealt with by Darnell Furlong there. And I think that is going to be a West Brom free kick for a foul on Furlong from Longman's attempt at the header. It was a good cross-field ball wide to Coyle, who put a fantastic ball to the back post. Longman just coming in. He's gone for the ball, but Furlong has fallen over, and the referee has deemed that to be a foul. So West Brom have possession back. Peters carrying it forward again for the Baggies. He goes back to Josh Griffiths, who is making his 4th straight start for West Brom today. His first chance this season as a West Brom number 1. He was recalled by Portsmouth late January after an injury to Alex Palmer. And poor performances from David Button have allowed Griffiths to get in. As Swift plays a good ball into the penalty area for DK. Jed Wallace on this right-hand side picks it out to Swift. DK again. Back to Yakushla. A nice intricate ball there for Swift, who looked to pick out an Albion man. Wallace on the right-hand side. We know what a great delivery he's got. And he whipped it into that near post. And that was Darnell Furlong, not a man that you would expect to see in the penalty area to try and get ahead on goal. There's another superb delivery from Jed Wallace. Mr. Reliable for West Brom. Fantastic ball in, but Furlong just couldn't direct the header on goal, and it sails well over the bar in the end. And as we approach just after 5 minutes, it's Hull City 0, West Bromwich Albion 0. The goal kick is up to Tete, who holds the ball up well again, but the crossfield pass looking for Slater is cut out well by Furlong. Malumbi back to Wallace. And Wallace goes back to O'Shea. O'Shea into Yakushla. Peters. Back to Yakushla once more. Turns on the ball. Looks forward for an option. Finds Furlong on the right-hand side. And DK again, getting some space here in between Hull defenders. It's good hold-up play from Albrighton, who lays it back to DK. And Wallace on the right-hand side, but he gets the control all wrong. And he goes out for a Hull goal kick. And that is not what you'd expect from Jed Wallace. We want a lot more quality on the right-hand side from him after that previous cross that he put in. This will try and play out from the back. It's Darlow who is forced to go long again up to Tete, who had a positive second half contribution at Bristol City when he hit the post. He's just hobbling as he went up for the ball against Kushlu. I think it's the left ankle that's troubling him. And we will see how that one plays out. But he's back for Albion with Malumbi. And Yakushlu knocking it back to Malumbi. Peters once more for the Baggies. Back to O'Shea as Albion continue to knock the ball around in defence. Malumbi wide to Wallace, who shifts it back to Furlong. He has to ride the challenge of Slater before going back to O'Shea. Albion very patient in their build-up, and the long ball comes now on that left-hand side to Connor Towns, and it's well dealt with there by Louis Coyle, who was one of 4 changes tonight for Hull City to come in at right back. Townsend assesses his options before throwing back to Peters. Peters to O'Shea. The Dutchman Peters again on the ball to Yakushu. Lovely outside the boot flick, and it's now gone wide to John Swift on the left-hand side. Teasing and has Townsend on the overlap. He clips that ball over to the back post, but no one there. And it's headed away by Callum Elder, but only as far as Darnell Furlong. Wallace now. Back to Furlong. Can West Brom create a meaningful opportunity in the first 10 minutes? It's Wallace on the right-hand side. A great delivery again, looking for DK. But it's just gone over his head, and it's now a free kick to Hull City for an adjudged foul. I think it was Alfie Jones there. Really good work in the back line to deal with the big presence of DK. That's the centre forward. But again, great build-up play from West Brom here. Malumbi to Wallace, and again, a fantastic delivery from Wallace. Just a fraction too high, you would say, for DK. And as he's wrestling with Alfie Jones, he falls to the ground, Alfie Jones. Bit clumsy from DK, and the free kick is rightfully awarded to Liam Rossini's men. A good crossfield ball now for Elder, but that is a sloppy pass as he tries to find Slater, and that goes out for a West Bromwich Albion throw. As I said at the beginning of the programme, Hull City have not won in 6 games against West Bromwich Albion. Something that Carlos Corberán will be positive about. And what they would do to make that 7 unbeaten against Hull City, the Baggies. Peters in the back line for Albion again. Swift coming deep now to O'Shea. And now it's wide to Jed Wallace, who sends Malumbi on his way. Clips the ball back into Wallace. A lot of space in the penalty area. Back across, and it's hoisted a goal by Mark Albrighton and somehow brilliantly kept out by Carl Darlow. And Daryl DK couldn't get onto the rebound in the end. Great play again down the right between Malumbi and Wallace. And the clearance by Jones falls straight on Albrighton. It flicks up. You think it's deceived Carl Darlow, but he does very well, in fact. Spreads himself well to save the shot, but he just hits DK and goes back into the path of Carl Darlow. But that's the biggest opening we've got, just shy of 10 minutes here for West Bromwich Albion. And Carl Darlow tested to the absolute maximum there to keep out Mark Albrighton. As Darlow now goes to Elder. And again, it's a very poor ball for Furlong, and we're starting to already see the difference in quality perhaps between the two sides. But a sloppy giveaway there from Wallace, and he's hacked down Slater there on that left-hand side, or Tufan, should I say. And it will be a Hull free kick. Well, plenty of goal-mouth action in the first 10 minutes. A very frenetic start to our coverage from this EFL Championship game. And that's what we love about the English game. Plenty of goals, plenty of action. Hopefully there will be more to come. As the ball is back with Carl Darlow, who's forced to go long again. Tete looks to have shaken off his injury, but he can't hold the ball up this time. And West Brom are back in the possession of Jason Malumbi in central midfield. Furlong goes back to O'Shea. As Albion continue their patient play out from the back. And there's a sloppy ball from O'Shea. Tete nearly in on Furlong to potentially get a 1v1 there. And that's what Hull have got to pray on, that West Brom do make these mistakes from playing out from the back. The ball, on a rare occasion, finds the foot of Josh Griffiths. And he lays the ball back to Peters. Now O'Shea. Furlong looks to feed John Swift, and Wallace flicks it off Tufan's boot for a throw. And Carlos Corberán very passionate on the sideline, demanding more from his players. He knows how important it is to get back to the Premier League for promotion, particularly this season. I mean, he has done absolute miracles at West Brom when you think after his first game in charge, which was a 2-0 defeat at home to Sheffield United. That left them bottom of the EFL Championship, to even get them talking about potential promotion Flames in itself is a testament to Corbrand's great work he's done since arriving. And the same could be said for Liam Rossini at Hull City, two promising and progressive young managers in the game. It's a sloppy giveaway again, and as Wallace looked to feed Malumbi, but it's another poor pass and it goes straight into the arms of Carl Darlow in the Hull City goal. Here is McLaughlin. Finds Callum Elder for Hull City. Now to Tufan. It's away from Malumbi and looks for a cross-field pass. It's an excellent ball towards Longman. And gets it down and plays the ball back to Jones. Now McLaughlin once more. West Bromwich Albion so organised in the defensive shape, which has stood them in really good stead with particularly their home form since Carlos Corbrand has arrived. A little bit of dawdling on the ball there from Doherty. Yakushlu picks it up. Malumbi looks for options but goes back to O'Shea. I think both sides need more runners at the moment. Not really picking many key passes out to try and unlock both defences. Furlong goes back to Griffiths once more. Griffiths laying the ball off to O'Shea. Yakushlu to Furlong. Sees the option of Eric Peters again on the left-hand side. Shifted back into O'Shea. Another crossfield ball attempted towards Connor Townsend to leap in the air, but Coyle does very well there and heads it away for an Albion throw. Townsend will take the throw in and goes back to Peters. And Dara O'Shea just inside the Hull City half. Connor Townsend. And now Yakushlu. Darnell Furlong making a run on the right-hand side, but it's not been picked out. And O'Shea back to Yakushlu, who turns nicely on the ball away from Tete. Now into Dika, who's forced to go back to the defence in O'Shea. Malumbi. Wallace inside to Swift. Good period of possession this for West Brom, knocking the ball around with complete confidence, but just need to get that play going in the final third a bit more. Townsend hoists it on, looking for Albrighton on the left-hand side, tussling with Coyle. And Coyle has surrendered possession to Albrighton, who looks to come on the left-hand side, but McLaughlin there read the situation and clears it away. Tete can't win a throw off Peters, and again it will be a West Bromwich Albion throw deep in the Hull half. 15.5 minutes gone. It remains goalless here at the MKM Stadium between Hull City and West Bromwich Albion. Furlong tries a teasing ball over to the right side for Malumbi, who's appeared to have been barged over by Callum Elder, and the referee and linesman agree. And it will be a free kick on this right-hand side for West Bromwich Albion. A really dangerous area now to put the big men forward and try and grab a goal here. And you have to say, McLaughlin really didn't do a lot wrong. Malumbi did feel the contact and went down. It was clever play. And West Brom have a great opportunity through John Swift here to potentially again work Carl Darlow. Swift raises his arm, delivers the ball towards that near post. It's a great header at the back there by Tete, the Hull City striker, putting in his defensive work for the team, and that's probably one of the reasons why he's earned a start under Liam Rossini tonight. Peters looks for a deep ball, looking for Townsend. It's well trapped by him. Edge of the box for Jed Wallace, who pokes a goal. Carl Darlow spills it. In truth, it was straight at the Hull City goalkeeper, and he made more of a meal of it than he should have done, really. But again, another shot on target for West Brom there. And a player with the quality of Jed Wallace, you really feel should be getting a better strike on goal than that is all. Brighton whips a great ball in the air, and Daryl DK is kept out by Caldolo, and he smashes it wide of the goal on the rebound. Well, West Brom so close to taking the lead. They are knocking on the door. A superb piece of quality on the left-hand side with the delivery of Mark Albrighton. DK, that's what he thrives on. It's a great save from Darlow to keep him out from 6 yards. And then as he's swivelling on the rebound, he just knocks it wide of the goal. And it's been given as an Albion corner here. But Daryl DK so close to adding to the brace that he got last weekend against Middlesbrough. Big opportunities going amiss here, though, as West Brom continue to dominate this game so far in the opening 20 minutes. Swift with the corner in from the left-hand side towards the near post, but cleared away by Coyle. Maybe back to Peters, who hooks the ball all the way back to the goalkeeper, Josh Griffiths, who, compared to Caldolo, has had a very quiet 20 minutes here, and that's a lovely ball from Griffiths over to the left side for Swift. Yes, Townsend in support, gets to the byline, can he keep it in? The answer is no, a slightly overhit ball from Swift, which he will be disappointed about. And as I say, West Brom really knocking on the door now, forcing Caldolo into numerous saves. 72% of the ball now for West Brom, 4 shots. Hull haven't had a shot on goal or even a touch in West Brom's box. And Liam Rossini probably would have expected this, but he will want his side to hang in there for as long as possible to try and get something out of this game. As Mark Albrighton deflects the ball off Tufan away for a Hull throw. Well, Hull City, they have kept clean sheets in each of their last 3 league matches. That was under strenuous pressure there in the last few moments. Jed Wallace really should have been doing better to add to the 5 goals he scored so far this season. And the same goes for the American striker Daryl DK, who's come the closest to putting his side in front. Kushlu wins the ball in midfield, knocks it into Malumbi once again. O'Shea sees Furlong available deep in the right-hand side, but he's forced to go back to O'Shea. Kushlu, a lovely first-time ball into the path of Furlong, and DK there wrestles with McLaughlin, gets the better of him. Swift on this left-hand side can't really take the ball in his stride, and Hull City managed to clear the ball away, but it's just an onslaught right now from the away side, who continue to ramp up this enormous pressure on the Tigers. And you've got to say, it's probably a matter of time, the way this is going anyway, until West Bromwich Albion take the lead, unless something changes here at the MKM Stadium. Yakushu in the middle centre circle for Albion. Wide to Furlong. Back to O'Shea again. What passive play from the Baggies at the back. And not afraid to play up from the back, which has caused some tension amongst supporters, but it's the way that Carlos Corberán wants his side to play. That's a lovely interchange between Swift and Wallace, as Wallace tests the strength of Callum Elder. As well shrugged out by him away for a West Brom throw. And there is a player down now for Hull City with an injury. Trying to see who it could possibly be. I think it is Sean McLaughlin, the centre half, who's got a bit of a problem here for Hull City, which will worry Liam Rossini, I'm sure, because he's been very good in the back line, particularly in the centre half partnership with Alfie Jones. Well, McLaughlin joined Hull City in 2019. He's making his 59th appearance for the club tonight. I'm sure this is not what he will be wanting to end it on. Well, don't forget, as we said at the beginning of the programme, you can follow us on our social media platforms. We're available on Twitter at Commentary Live 1. And on Facebook, you can visit our page through www.facebook.com/The Commentary Hub. As McLaughlin gets to his feet and goes off to the sideline, embraced by Liam Rossini. As he looks to make his way back onto the pitch. So Hull City for now will be playing with 10 men as the game gets back underway. It's been a thoroughly entertaining first 23 minutes. West Brom will be trying to figure out how they've not got themselves in front at the moment. It's Furlong with the throw. Referee blows the whistle. Furlong goes back to O'Shea. And now McLaughlin is ushered back onto the pitch. Yakushlu goes wide to Towns. Infield to Albrighton. Now back to Peters. Albrighton, nice little change of pace there, and he's fed by Townsend on the left-hand side. Tries to get back on his right foot, but ushered out by Coyle. High press though as Peters wins the ball back. Swift now, and Coyle again involved in the action. Tete can't hold the ball up, but Peters has to try and play a first-time cross into the box, which is an easy collection for Carl Darlow. No one in the penalty area of red shirts for Albion tonight. Good ball through now. It's going to test the pace of Darnell Furlong as Longman tries to latch onto it. Griffiths goes long towards DK, but he's nowhere near him. Hull will recycle the ball once again. Jones into McLaughlin. Now Callum Elder carrying the ball up to the halfway line and looks for Slater, but it's easily dealt with by O'Shea. It's flicked on by Wallace to DK, but he can't quite use his strength. And he's bundled out the way, but Slater can't retrieve the ball in time. And he goes out for a West Brom throw. Furlong will go back to O'Shea once more. Dara O'Shea, now the captain of West Bromwich Albion, come through the academy. And takes great pride in the fact that he's now captain since the limited games that Jake Livermore now has in this West Brom 18. Here is the captain, O'Shea. Feeds Malumbi. Swift tries to take the ball. Got it stuck into his feet, but did really well to evade the challenge of Tufan. Now into Yakushlu. Back into Swift. Good interplay here. And Swift feeds Townsend. He was acres of space on the left-hand side. Great ball back, looking for Albrighton, but it's a really poor touch. And it's hoisted away by Jones. More up rather than away, but Yakushlu can't feed Swift again. And it's picked up by Slater now. He goes back to Coyle. Coyle now to McLaughlin. And Elder. Back to McLaughlin. Carl Darlow, who missed the opportunity to play in the Carabao Cup final against Manchester United due to being on loan at the Tigers. And obviously Nick Pope suspended and Martin Dubravka cup-tied. Lois Karius eventually filled the role in the defeat. Here is Okay Yakushlu, lovely ball to feed Malumbi, but again can't quite control the ball correctly. And that's what we're starting to see in this game, a lot of mistakes being made as West Brom try and get into the final third of the Hull City defence. Coyle looks for Tete, we'll know a top through ball, but he's adjudged to have gone too early and he's offside. It's been a lonely day up front so far for Tete, who again, as we say, came in for Oscar Estupinian, top scorer for Hull City. It was a surprise change, particularly amongst the Tigers supporters. And also considering that Estupinian had netted twice against the Baggies before tonight's game. Yakushlu with a very sloppy pass, trying to find DK. Darlow plays a short pass out to Elder, and McLaughlin is forced to go long for Tete, and Peters knocks him out the way. The ball comes back at Hull with Wallace on the right-hand side. He looks to whip the crossing. It's taking a deflection. Malumbi in the box. About 6 yards out, tries to poke it to Brighton, but it was an under-hit pass. And Hull clear it away. Ball comes straight back at them, and Swift again trying to take it down. The ball up to Tete. Very scrappy at the moment between both sides, and Tete wins Hull City a free kick just inside the West Brom half. Hull City not had a lot of the ball, but holding their own here against West Bromwich Albion. And there we have a shot of Oscar Estepinian on the Hull City bench. Doesn't look too pleased with the decision, but I suppose if you are the club's top scorer, why would you not feel aggrieved? But Tete doing a hard-working job up front so far, covered defensively at the back as well from one West Brom corner. So doing his job at the moment. Terrible crossfield pass from the free kick from Callum Elder, and it's sails out the play for a West Brom throw. Then Rossini, the Hull City manager, not best pleased with that decision. Griffiths now finds Townsend. Swift back to Okayakushla. Swift on this left-hand side. Dances past two Hull City players and carries the ball forward. Knocks it into the path of O'Shea, who looks to go wide right for Furlong again. Looks to win the header against Callum Elder, but doesn't. Battles with the Hull City midfielder there, but he comes out on top and looks for a long ball towards Tete. And this is the third time now he's having a real scrap up there with Eric Peters, but the referee says there's nothing wrong with it. And play carries on. Kushner again looks up to Wallace on the right-hand side. Great control onto his left foot inside. Back to Furlong now. He takes one touch and looks to clip the ball down the right-hand side to Malumbi. On the byline. Needs support. Wallace whips it back in. And it's not dealt with properly by McLaughlin. It's back in. It's Darnell Furlong. Oh, goodness me. I don't know what happened there. McLaughlin didn't deal with the the Jed Wallace cross rather very well. I think he's given it for handball against Mark Albright as he cleared it. And Hull City will breathe a huge sigh of relief there, because that was a dreadful mistake in the back line from Sean McLaughlin. Carl Darlow now with the free kick for Hull. He launches it up again, looking for Tete, who battled Yakushlu for the header. Elder knocks it forward, looking for Slater, but O'Shea muscles him out. And Peters, dawdling on the ball there. It's to Josh Griffiths, who has to play a quick pass to O'Shea. And Hull trying to harry the Baggies into an error. DK tries to flick the ball on. Malumbi gets there. And it's all Brighton, and he tries to lob the goalkeeper from a matter of 35 yards out. He saw Carl Darlow off his line, but he got it awfully wrong and virtually passed the ball right into the hands of the goalkeeper. Malumbi wanted a foul. Just in the build-up to that, he got ahead of Alfie Jones, and the former Southampton Academy player went through on Malumbi. It really should have been a foul. As we look at Jason Malumbi, 4 assists and 2 goals in the Championship. He's willing to have more shots as an Albion player now, where he's very reluctant to during his early playing day careers. Swift with the free kick as it is given. It's towards the back post for O'Shea. Gets up to Furlong, who gets the header in. And Carl Darlow scampers across his goal. I don't think it was going in. He just scampers across to hold on to the ball. But again, West Brom pressurising Hull and creating more chances here, as they look to eventually put one of them away, they hope. Just approach past the half-hour mark. It remains goalless here at the MKM Stadium between Hull City and West Brom. There's a long ball down to Slater on the left-hand side. A rare attack for Hull. Slater, a couple of step-overs, finds it on the edge of the box. Now to Longman, who clips the ball up, but it's an easy gather for Josh Griffiths in the West Brom goal. Only 21 years old, but bags of experience in the English Football League, Josh Griffiths. Made over 100 appearances in the Football League already, with stints at Cheltenham Town and Portsmouth recently. He has the ball once more, knocks it back to the captain Dara O'Shea and back to Griffiths again. A good press on here from the Tigers, led by Tete. Furlong jousting with Slater. A good ball forward for Swift, but it's just short of Wallace's path, and the long ball to Tete. It's a good flick down now to Slater, who drives into the West Brom penalty area. Cushy with a challenge, and Tete fires Hull City in front. What an unbelievable strike from Tete. He's come in for Oscar Estepinian today in the 4 changes that were made by Liam Brasinia, and he has smashed Hull into the lead. And we've said they've not had a lot of possession, Hull City. West Brom have been carving out all the chances, but the one chance they have, they take it. It's Hull City 1, West Bromwich Albion 0 with 33 minutes gone. And when Liam Rossini was speaking pre-match, he talked about rewarding the hard work that Tete had put in at Bristol City. A surprise decision to include him over Estepinian, but he has smashed Hull in the lead with an absolute rocket on his left foot. It just broke him into the penalty area. Nothing Josh Griffiths can do. Clips off the inside of the post. And my word, what a goal to open the weekend's action in the EFL Championship. Benjamin Tete, it's his first goal for Hull, and you won't get many better than that. But how will West Brom respond here? They've been so dominant in this first half, yet find themselves behind. And here is Swift, who goes wide to Connor Townsend, looking for an immediate response as Swift clips it across, and Callum Elder is forced to turn it behind for a West Brom corner. Frenetic stuff here in East Yorkshire. As Swift picked the ball up, laid it off to Connor Townsend. He whips a great ball in. Swift flicks it on, just needs a man to turn it over the back post. Swift in with the corner, and the header in from Dara O'Shea goes wide. He demands and protests to the referee that it should be another corner, but the decision is goal kick. And let's breathe, take a huge breath from the action that we've just witnessed, with Benjamin Tete smashing the Tigers in front here against West Bromwich Albion with his first goal for the club. And we said he'd been working hard, he'd been doing his attacking duties as well as his defensive principles, and he's won another flick on there as it goes to Coyle on the right-hand side. He clips it up looking for Tete, flicks it down, and it's a great save from Josh Griffiths, but he's offside. Oh my, we thought Tete would be grabbing his second goal of the evening, but he is adjudged to be offside. But it was a great save from Josh Griffiths in that West Brom goal. He wasn't to know that the Ghanaian was offside. Well, actually, I don't think it was offside. It was a handball. Yes, he controlled it with his arm. That was what they were appealing for. But nevertheless, a fantastic save from Griffiths in that West Brom goal to stop his side going 2-0 down before the break. And that would be a mountain to climb as far as West Bromwich Albion are concerned. Wallace flicks it to Furlong. Furlong now. That's a really poor pass as he looked for DK. And now there's on the breakaway again, Slater to Tete. It's 3-on-3 here at the moment, but Tete is forced wide. A lovely flick back to Longman now, who picks the ball up and gets it wide to Coyle. Coyle on that right-hand side, flick back to Doherty. Slater with a header. Appeals for handball off Eric Peters as it went into the penalty area, but it's claimed by Josh Griffiths. But Hull City now using that momentum of the first goal. It was all West Bromwich Albion, but my word, how a goal can change things in a football match, and that is exactly what has happened to Hull City. It's 37 minutes on the clock. Hull City 1, West Bromwich Albion 0 here in the EFL Championship. A win for Hull would take them 14 points clear of the bottom three as they look to maintain their mid-table status and start to look up the table rather than over their shoulder. And you've got to say, as DK gives a really poor ball away again, and West Brom looking to look a bit sloppy now. It's Tufan on the right-hand side, drills the ball across. O'Shea digs it out away for a whole corner. And I was just about to say a West Brom defeat here would be really damaging to their playoff prospects as they look to go within 3 points of the top 6 tonight, but that is staying at 6 points as it stands. And they've really got to get their acts together because Hull City look more of a threat to double their advantage rather than West Brom getting level here. And they've got to make sure they defend this set piece properly. Corner in from the right-hand side. Elder goes short. Coyle towards that back post looking for Tete, and Griffiths rather strangely palms the ball away. And DK hacks the ball clear for a throw-in. Not the most convincing clearance there from the young goalkeeper, Josh Griffiths. And I suppose he did get it away in the end. But Tete causing huge problems up front for Hull. His sheer stature, his physical presence. The West Brom backline really struggling to deal with it at the moment. The long throw then, deep on this left-hand side, will come in from Callum Elder. DK wins it. It's back in by Doherty. Back to Tete again. He holds the ball up nicely. And Coyle with the shot. Deflects again. Tete acrobatically off the head of Dara O'Shea and away for a corner. Tete is like a man possessed at the moment after that goal. What a threat he looks up front. And again, it's Doherty. A lovely header. It's a great touch from Tete. He links it back. Coyle takes a deflection of Yakushlu, and his acrobatic effort was destined to be on target. It was well cleared away by Dara O'Shea, who put his head in for the cause right there. Callum Elder with this delivery from the right-hand side again, right next to the West Bromwich Albion fans. It's towards deep, and Furlong clears it out. And the hook cross back in there is a very poor one. It's claimed by Josh Griffiths rather comfortably. As the throw out goes back to Eric Peters. Now it's John Swift. Dara O'Shea now to Darnell Furlong. Mark Albrighton shifted it back to the Baggies right back. Malumbi. And to Furlong, who scored in West Brom's 5-2 win over Hull last August. With an absolutely sensational strike, it has to be said. What West Brom would give for that today. Peters into Yakushlu. Prodded to Wallace, but he can't get the ball into John Swift. There's been a little bit of a change of shape here for West Brom. Mark Albrighton moving out to the right-hand side. We're seeing Jed Wallace playing behind Daryl DK in the number 10, which we have seen recently under Corberán, and John Swift coming out to the left-hand side in a bid to change the tide in this game. But Albion still a goal behind thanks to Benjamin Tete's fantastic left-footed strike into the top corner. Furlong searches for Wallace down that right-hand side. He gives chase, and has he got the pace to get across? He nearly did, but it's just about dealt with there by McLaughlin, who turns it behind for a West Brom corner. And West Brom will look to use the opportunity of a set piece to get back level in this game just before half-time. 4 minutes plus stoppages. I beg your pardon, he has gone out for a throw instead of a corner, but Darnell Furlong will launch this long throw into the box, so virtually it will be a corner, we think. Furlong does. Up towards DK, it's dealt with by Elder. Swift on the edge of the box, so Shea looks to get a flick in, but it's dealt with again. Tete, though, running into trouble. And Albrighton on the right-hand side. A lovely ball into Jed Wallace. He's got space, but it's a really poor ball from Wallace, and it's dealt with quite comfortably by Jones. And now Hull will spring on the counter-attack with Tufan, but it's dealt with by Peters at the back for West Brom. Griffiths to O'Shea as Hull continue the press on Albion, who try to play out from the back. A poor control from Furlong. It's all getting a little bit scrappy in there from a West Brom point of view. Furlong trying to get a free kick. and gets one. And Slater nibbled in on him. Well, Hull City will be delighted with this first half performance. They restricted West Brom, particularly after they scored the goal. They had to ride their luck at times. Jed Wallace and Daryl DK missing big opportunities, but as you look at that strike, that is a peach of a left-footed effort from Tete into that top corner. And as you watch his celebrations back, he can barely believe he scored. But he certainly repaid the faith that has been put in him by Liam Rosenior with a strike like that. And that is what separates the two sides at the moment as we're heading towards half-time. West Bromwich Albion behind in this game, looking to strike back. It's the long ball over, looking for Wallace. Put it into the arms of Darlow, who goes wide to Coyle with the throw out. Moves that ball down, but there's no one in black and amber to challenge, and it stayed in. And Peters picks it up again. Eric Peters deployed more at centre back now for West Brom rather than his preferred left back place as he has through the years. Carlos Corberán slumped down in his chair and will not be impressed that his side are behind in this game. Well, Brighton looks to find DK, but the ball in is well overhit. And he runs through once again to Darlow. And West Brom continuing to play risky balls as they look to open up the Hull defence. But here comes Callum Elder, who's got acres of green grass to sprint into. Wide to Slater, he whips that ball in towards Tete again, has the luxury to take the ball down. Wide to Docketer. Now Coyle, the captain. Goes back to Docketer. And now Coyle. Into Tufan, the Turkish international. Spreads it wide looking for Tete. It's dealt with by Jason Malumbi, but that is a terrible clearance and a gifting Hull City possession straight back here. Here is Jones. Docketer. Back to Jones. And now McLaughlin. Goes long looking for the run of Slater. And he's going to get there, but he's rather comically slices his clearance straight into the Hull City supporters behind Josh Griffith's goal. And we'll go behind for a West Brom goal kick as we approach stoppage time here at the end of the first half. There is 2 minutes added on. 2 more minutes for Carlos Corberán's men to try and level the scores. Darnell Furlong into Dara O'Shea. Jason Malumbi calling for options. Finds Albrighton on the right. Shifts it back to Furlong. Quite pedestrian at the moment from the Baggies. And that is a rather desperate ball looking for Connor Townsend, and that will sail behind for a Hull City goal kick. Rather desperate plays at the moment as Hull City look to stay defensively sound and keep a 4th straight clean sheet at home. And we talked about the great strengths at Hull at the back, but their problem has been scoring goals, but they found the back of the net once tonight, and that could potentially be enough at this moment in time. As they look to bounce back from the defeat they had at Ashton Gate last weekend to Bristol City. Goal kick goes forward. It's headed away by Peters, but Elder springs up and wins the challenge. Malumbi hoisting it over, looking for Daryl DK. He can't quite chase the ball down. He's Swift, who wins in the middle of the park, but a miscommunication between him and Malumbi allows Hull to spring in out to the left-hand side. Furlong does well against Slater, but it is going to be a Hull City throw. As Furlong, rather dejectedly looking, throws the ball away in frustration. 10 seconds left of the first half here. It's Callum Elder with the throw. And the throw will not be taken as the referee blows the half-time whistle. Well, it's Hull City who lead against West Bromwich Albion. The Tigers had lost their last 6 games in all competitions against West Bromwich Albion, but they find themselves in front through a fantastic strike to put them in front. But West Bromwich Albion have had the better chances, you would have to say, with Jed Wallace and Daryl DK. Wallace with a great ball from Swift on the left-hand side, prodding at goal, really should have done better. It's kept out by Carl Darlow. And then a fabulous ball in from Jed Wallace from the right-hand side, was met by DK on the header, palmed out by Darlow, but then DK screwed the effort wide on the rebound. But then it was Hull City who got themselves in front through Benjamin Tete. His first goal for Hull City, rewarded with a start over top scorer Oscar Estepinian after a positive second half contribution at Bristol City. And he latched onto it with a brilliant left-footed arrowed effort into the top corner. What a way to mark your first goal at the club. Work to do for West Bromwich Albion if they're to get back in the playoff mix with 3 points. At half-time, it's Hull City 1, West Bromwich Albion 0. welcome along back to the commentary hub for the second half between Hull City and West Bromwich Albion in the EFL Championship. West Brom had won their last two meetings at the MKM Stadium, but they will have to come from behind to make it three on the spin after Benjamin Tete scored a cracking goal, his first for the club, being rewarded for the start over Oscar Estupinian by Liam Rosenia, and he is the difference maker at the moment in this game as we get back underway. This time Hull City kicking from left to right, and the ball now with Swift, who miscontrols it, and it's into the path of Tufan. Coyle on the right hand side as Hull City look to start the second half positively and potentially double their advantage. Cross coming in from Doherty's blocked, and DK now carries the ball forward, lays it off to John Swift. Has options on his right hand side and picks out Furlong. Furlong trudges with the ball and lays it back to O'Shea. And now Eric Peters, who has been an ever-present in this Albion back line under Carlos Corberán, particularly since the long layoff that Carl Bartley has had through injury. Well, Brighton picks the ball up, starts on his right-hand side, a great ball into Malumbi. There's a path now for Daryl DK, and the shot is saved by Carl Darlow. And hook clear. Another massive opportunity goes begging for West Brom. And from Daryl DK. Townsend whips that ball back in. DK with the chest down. It's Jed Wallace, and he slices his left-footed effort wide of the goal. But that's better from West Bromwich Albion. It's a positive start in these opening couple of minutes. But Daryl DK really should have done a lot better to put Albion back on level terms. A great ball, Malumbi across. A deft little flick from the American. And Darlow gets down well to palm it away to safety. But Carlos Corberán will be scratching his head and wondering how West Brom have not got themselves a goal tonight so far. And Carl Darlow called into another very important save to keep Hull City in front here at the MKM Stadium. And Carl Darlow making his home debut for Hull tonight. And he's been in the thick of the action so far, in between the sticks. So it's back to Darlow. Knocks it forward, looking for Elder. And Elder driving forward into the heart of the penalty area, but his pass, looking for Slater on that left side, was well overhit, and it's behind for a West Brom goal kick. And talk about wasted chances again from West Brom. It's only taken Hull City one for it to be in the back of the net, and that is the difference maker. West Brom not clinical enough tonight with the chances they've created. But you just know they will create more for the big man up top. Furlong goes inside to Malumbi. Back to Furlong once again. O'Shea into Yakushla. Turns on the ball. Knocks it back to Peters. O'Shea. Yakushla pressured by Doherty. Finds Furlong. Wallace trying to flick it infield, but it's cut out, and it's on this left-hand side with Longman, who's taking his look against three West Brom players, whips the ball in, and it's dealt with well by O'Shea. And Furlong hooks the ball clear with his left foot, but it's brought down now by Javier Simons, the man on loan from Chelsea. He was close to making his deal to the MKM Stadium, a permanent one. Very poor cross in there from Slater, and Malumbi deals with it. But Wallace challenging for the ball, can't win it, and it's back to Hull again with Elder clipping it in. And now it's Tufan who has a shot at goal, which is blocked, and the deflected effort now by Longman is straight into the arms of Josh Griffiths. But that was another big chance for Hull City to try and double their lead. Very end-to-end game, but this one very fast-paced. And surely there will be more goals in it to come, you would feel. West Brom brewing big missed opportunities in this one. particularly for that man Daryl Deco, who scored a brace against Middlesbrough. And he's gone down under a challenge from the Hull City right back, Coyle. The referee has waved play on, nothing in that for his perspective. As Hull City the ball around the back and find it back with the goalkeeper. It's now Alfie Jones finding Coyle. Now up towards Benjamin Tete, who again traps the ball down really well and has been left a late challenge on there by Jason Malumbi. It was a very unnecessary challenge, and Tete down in quite a lot of pain at the moment as he slams the turf in agony. And the ball bounced between Townsend and Peters. Tete took the ball down. It's just a late challenge from Malumbi, straight on the foot. And I think, and he has been booked. Jason Malumbi has been booked for that challenge. Quite a late decision by the referee. Malumbi quite puzzled by the decision. But that is Jason Malumbi's 9th booking of the season. He's one away from a 2-game ban. And that is not what West Bromwich Albion need right now, with their injuries piling up as well. So Malumbi into the book. The first card of the evening goes West Brom's way. And Malumbi now with a very aggressive challenge in on Javier Simons. He's got to be careful now on that booking. And Elder goes forward. It's trapped down by Slater. And the ball finds its way in the middle of the park now to Tufa. Rolls the ball wide right to Coyle. In an advancing position. Finds Tete. He's got room again. The striker. Finds Tufa. Wide right now, the Turkish international. Gets the ball back to Doherty. Infield to Tufan. Nice link up. And he will knock it back to Alfie Jones. Now to McLaughlin. And now back to Jones once more. He feeds the ball in, looking for Tufan. It's poor control though, and Peters on the byline hooks it clear, but he can't prevent it from going for a Hull throw. And the pressure being maintained from Hull City here, the work rate, everything that Liam Rossini demands of his players to look to get a very, very good result tonight against strong opposition. Coyle with the throw. Finds Tufan again. He's forced to go back to the Hull City defence again, and Jones will go all the way back to Darlow. And Darlow now hoisted forward by McLaughlin. He looks to set Slater away, but Furlong does well to head it back. And it will be a goal kick to West Brom, I think. As both no, it's going to be a corner to Hull City. There was a challenge of 2 players. And Darnell Furlong very angrily reacting to that decision. He tussled with Slater, went off balance, and has headed it behind for a Hull corner. Again, a very unnecessary one at that. There was no pressure really applied by Slater. Furlong comedically falling over, and it's come off the West Brom fullback. And now a chance for Hull City to try and double their lead from the left-hand side. 5 amber and black striped shirts in the box. It goes short now. And the shot is driven in just wide from 30 yards out. It was Javier Simons with the effort. The ball was worked short here. Doherty then to Simons. He's about 25 yards out. Looks to plant it in that far corner. And it whistles wide of the far post. Josh Griffiths was stranded, could do nothing about that ball and just prayed it beat the post. And it did. And to West Brom's relief there, not 2-0 down, but Hull City coming very, very close to doubling their advantage in this game 10 minutes into the second half. As West Brom build up from the back again. That is a really poor pass into Albrighton from Darnell Furlong. And look at the frustration on the West Bromwich Albion players' faces here. Well, don't forget again, as I've been saying, you can follow the Commentary Hub on our social media platforms, Twitter and Facebook. The Twitter is at Commentary Live 1. The Facebook page is www.facebook.com/The Commentary Hub. And we'd love to see some new faces on our social media. West Brom build out from the back again with Furlong. Wallace goes back to the former QPR man. Risky ball played to Swift, but he picks it up there and tries to spread the ball wide to Albright. It's going to reach the on loan Leicester man. He drills it into the middle. Jason Malumbi trying to get a toe on the ball, but great recovery challenge back there from Javier Simons. And the ball is spread wide to Tufan on the right-hand side. As he looks to drive and has Tete kept it onside. He has. He strikes it. It's a fantastic save from Josh Griffiths. Tete looking to double his tally for this evening. He timed his run to perfection again. But this time, Josh Griffiths is the man to keep him out with an excellent save. It looked to be going on the roof for Nat. Tete was offside. The flag didn't come. And he drives the ball towards the roof of the goal. And Griffiths stands tall and palms it over the bar. Another massive opportunity for Hull City and for that man, Benjamin Tete. But he couldn't make it count despite his best efforts. It's going to be a corner to Hull City. Once again, from the left-hand side, whipped in by Tufan. Towards the near post and flicked on, it's 2-0. Hull City have scored yet again. It's 2-0. And I'm trying to see who it is that has scored the goal. I think it's McLaughlin. He runs away and celebrates. And Hull City, 11 minutes into the second half, double their advantage from a set piece. Tufan's delivery towards the near post is flicked in. And just like against Birmingham City away, West Brom are undone by another set piece. As we watch the goal back, Tufan's whip ball in. It is McLaughlin. No chance for Griffiths. Goes straight in at the near post. He's tussling with Malumbi and O'Shea. No one gets to him. And he has flicked the ball into the goal. And again, that is his first of the season, I believe, for McLaughlin. Or is it a combination? I don't know whether it's an own goal, actually, whether it goes in off Dara O'Shea. The inquest will continue. It might be a Dara O'Shea own goal. And West Brom, in response to that second goal, have made a change. Darnell Furlong withdrawn. And Nathaniel Chalabar is on for the Baggies, joined from Fulham in the January transfer window. But Hull City come forward again as they look to try and get a third. And it's away on the right-hand side by Chalabar, who has just come on and replaced Darnell Furlong. So it must be a change in shape for the Baggies with a midfielder coming on for a fullback. But what does Carlos Corberán do from here? It was vital that West Brom got the next goal. And now that they are 2-0 down with half an hour to play, it is a mountain to climb at the moment. There's a bit of a break in play as Benjamin Tete is limping off the pitch. He's clutching his right foot. And the referee is saying that he has to go off the pitch. I don't know whether it's going to be a substitution, but he's just Benjamin Tete just pulling himself onto the ground. The referee is instructing that he goes off the pitch. I don't know what's quite. Oscar Estepinian is being ready for Hull City, so it looks like Benjamin Tete's night is going to come to an abrupt end. But what a player they've got to bring on in Estepinian, their top scorer. But Benjamin Tete can be proud of the work that he's put in tonight for this Hull City team. Scored a fantastic goal and led the line superbly, and well worth this start was given to him by Liam Rosenior in this Hull City 11 tonight. It looks like his night is over with a foot injury, and Oscar Estepinian is being readied for the first change that Hull City are going to make tonight. As we just approach the hour mark at the MKM Stadium, Hull City leading West Bromwich Albion by 2-0. Courtesy of Tete and we think Adara O'Shea own goal as the long ball clipped forward to John Swift and he's offside. So West Brom struggling here to try and get back in the game. Liam Rosenior talking to Benjamin Tete, and are they holding off the substitution now? Oscar Estepinian still getting ready, but I think Tete is pleading that he can continue. And he makes his way back onto the pitch. So I think Oscar Estepinian is going to have to wait a little longer to be introduced for Hull City as Tete looks to shrug off this injury. And he's been a vital part to tonight's success at the moment. Tete, as Carl Darlow takes the free kick for Hull, launches it up the pitch towards Tete, who again swivels away from Chalobah this time. Kushlu knocks it back to Peters. Townsend and Chalobah harried by a combination of Tete and Slater, but he wins the free kick to Hull's dismay. Chalobah wins the free kick inside his own half. O'Shea now plays the ball off to Yakushla. And back to O'Shea again. Malumba. Back to O'Shea once again, who finds Jed Wallace. And West Brom have got to start taking more risks now. Half an hour to play, 2-0 down. It's got to be more than just knocking it round the back, you feel. Yakushla to O'Shea. Malumbi, intricate play. Wallace back to Malumbi. That's lovely from Albion. And wide on the right to Albrighton. He floats a decent cross in, but it's dealt with by Coyle as it looked to go towards John Swift at the back post. And away for a Hull throw. A West Brom throw, I beg your pardon. Yakushla to Chalobah. And Peters. As Albion go from right to left. Trying to half the deficit at this moment in time. O'Shea through to Wallace, picked up by Malumbi. Wallace goes down in a heap. Play continues with Albrighton. And O'Shea clips the ball in, looking for DK. It's back on the edge of the box to John Swift, who goes down, and it will be a free kick right outside the penalty area for West Brom. Doherty, the man accused of fouling John Swift. And could this be the gateway back into the game for the Baggies? A brilliant opportunity here with a free kick on the edge of the box. And Swift was quicker to the ball, and Doherty did lay a foot in on Swift. It was a very clumsy challenge, one that was not needed to be made. And you feel John Swift, who was fouled for the free kick, will be eyeing this one up to try and get the Baggies back into this game with just under half an hour to play. As we approach the 63rd minute, Hull City 2, West Brom 0. John Swift, who we know how effective he can be from set pieces in this range, eyes up the goal. 4 in the wall with 1 on the floor for Hull City as Swift eyes it up, curls it, hits the post and smashed over by Dara O'Shea. Well, John Swift so close to getting West Brom back into this game. His strike cannons off the post, fell to Dara O'Shea, who slices it wide. And with that, you've got to feel like it's not going to be West Brom's evening here. And now changes are going to be made for both sides. Oscar Estepinian is now going to be introduced, and it is going to be the end of the game for Benjamin Tete, whose first half strike was an absolute corker into the far corner. Helped on its way by a slight touch off Josh Griffiths, but a great goal nonetheless to mark his first one for Hull. And now Estepinian comes on. It's also going to be a double change for West Bromwich Albion, which is going to see Taylor Gardner-Hickman and Adam Reach come on for Jason Malumbi and Connor Townsend. So more energy down the flanks for the Baggies. It would have been superb from their point of view to get a goal back in this game. Taylor Gardner-Hickman particularly coming in at central midfield, not had a lot of minutes recently, particularly with the acquisition of Nathaniel Chalobah, but injuries in the squad have meant that he's got back in on the bench and now has 25 minutes to try and help his side get back into this game. So O'Shea goes to Griffiths. Peters carrying the ball out from the back once again. Played back to Yakushlu, who goes wide and finds Gardner-Hickman. Wallace back into Gardner-Hickman. O'Shea. Now Albrighton into Wallace. More advanced now, Jed Wallace, but he can't play the ball into John Swift. And now Callum Elder. Kushler. Swift. Now back to O'Shea. And Swift as he clips the ball forward looking for DK, and 3 Hull City players have not managed to get there, but DK in the penalty area lashes well over. And that is a really, really poor effort from Daryl DK. And Hull City will take that all day long, relieving the pressure as the clock ticks away with their 2-0 lead. Carlos Corberán furious with that effort. You can see him bellowing down on the touchline. This is not the result he would have wanted at all, as Taylor Gardner-Hickman is clattered into by Javier Simons, and it's going to be another West Brom free kick as they look to potentially get this into the box. John Swift hovering over it again, who just crashed the post from an earlier effort. Swift now to Gardner-Hickman. Charges towards the penalty area, gets it wide to Albrighton, who clips it in. The flick on from Adam Reach. He's no danger to anybody. It's into the arms of Carl Darlow. Well, you feel now West Brom are going to dominate possession now as they look to get back into this game, but they've been very, very wasteful tonight, and that's cost them. Hull City have taken 2 out of the 3 chances that they've created, and that is the lesson to be learned from this West Brom side. They can't afford to keep wasting chances if they're to get in the playoff picture. Chalobah can't quite find DK. It's back for an Albion throw, which is taken by Reach. And Kushlu, who now looks to have slotted in at centre back, along with Dar O'Shea. Wide to Mark Albrighton, who looks up, applies the ball to Gardner-Hickman. Swift into the penalty area. Forced back out, though, by the resolute Hull defending. Swift flicks the ball to Gardner-Hickman on the right-hand side. It's a great dig out there. Jed Wallace, can he put it back? It's another great save from Carl Darlow. And it's cleared away. Carl Darlow having the game of his life at the moment on his Hull City home debut. He keeps out Jed Wallace again, who digged out that right-footed effort on target, and another chance goes begging for the Baggies. And you feel like Hull City are going to have to ride these moments out a few more times if they're to get the 3 points tonight. Well, Darlow pleading with his Hull City defence to be more organised there as he kept out Wallace. And it was straight at him again, really, but he had to be aware and push it out with that left foot. And that's the second time tonight Jed Wallace has missed an opportunity. His pass is too heavy from Mark Albrighton, and he goes out for a Hull City throw. There we go again. It was Gardner-Hickman. It was a great ball across from the byline. But again, the effort just too close to Carl Darlow, who relatively comfortably managed to clear the ball away with his left foot. West Brom charging forward again as Chalobah is brought down by Estepinian. It'll be a job more of a defensive attributes now for Estepinian rather than his attacking quality. 11 men behind the ball for Hull. O'Shea. Space wide right again for Albrighton, who takes one touch, whips the ball in. He'll go behind for another West Brom corner. 20 minutes to go in this game. Hull City still leading by 2-0 as they look for a much needed victory to hold themselves clear of any potential relegation danger. Swift corner into the near post, cleared away by Estepinian. Gardner-Hickman challenges for the header. It's back with him on the edge of the box in central midfield. Wide to Swift. Swift takes it inside. Back wide now for Wallace. One touch into the box again. The cross is dealt with by Elder. Straight onto the edge of the box for Nathaniel Chalobah, whose shot is blocked by Doherty. He took his time and probably took one, if not too many touches as he looked to get his strike away on goal. West Brom recycled the ball once more. Chalobah feeding it to Kushlu. And now to O'Shea. O'Shea drives forward, tries to pick out Albrighton, but can't. He has the ball back with Gardner-Hickman. Inside to Chalobah. Looks up, finds Adam Reach, who looks for a strike at goal, and he forces Darlow into another save. Again, it was less than convincing from the on-loan Newcastle man as he palms it away for a corner, but Adam Rich took one touch, looked up, hit it, and the ball was swirling. And it's actually a decent save by Darlow. The ball was swirling in the air. He had to get something on it, and he's put it behind for a corner as Dara O'Shea's header from the set piece goes well wide, and the frustration continues for West Brom as the ball just doesn't seem destined to hit the back of the net at all this evening. Carl Darlow keeping the Baggies out on numerous occasions here as he looks to impress Eddie Howe, who's looking at his progress as the Newcastle manager. Came to Hull City to get game time and is showing his qualities off at the moment. He ushers his players forward as he takes this goal kick. And everybody up and taking his time, but now blasts it down the middle of the park towards Estepinian. Great flick, but to nobody in the end, and O'Shea heads it back to Griffiths, who throws the ball out to Peters. Peters now to Yakushlu. Yakushlu to O'Shea. Now wide to Albright. Back to O'Shea. And now Nathaniel Chalobah. Wide right to Albrighton and Wallace. To Gardner-Hickman. Back to O'Shea. He clips the ball on the wide right to Chalobah, but again it is overhit. And it goes behind for another Hull City goal kick. Chalobah puts the ball on the spot. The Hull City are riding their luck at times, but ultimately, when we get to this point, they've still got their 2-goal lead intact and are well on course now for 3 important points here. And Carlos Corberán looks on. He'll be struggling as to why it is going so wrong away from home. If this continues, it will be their 5th straight defeat away from home in all competitions, and it is something that he's got to get right if they are to stay in the hunt for the playoffs, because at this point there is no room for inconsistency. Tufan flicks it forward for Hull. O'Shea knocks it forward. DK trying to hold the ball up, but he's muscled off it by Alfie Jones. Now it's Estepinian, and Peters hooks it back to Josh Griffiths rather unconventionally. Griffiths now clips it forward, looking for DK, and he is now fouled by Alfie Jones as he tugs with him as that battle continues. He just leaves his arm in on DK there, and he falls to the floor. Albion now with Swift, who seem to be going a lot down the right-hand side at the moment with Mark Albrighton. Swift picking it up in the number 10 role, lays it back out wide. It's clipped up by Wallace, and Eric Peters is arriving. Daryl DK missed the ball completely, and there was a bit of a mix-up in communication. And now there's going to be a booking for Nathaniel Chalobah, is there? There is a foul from Chalobah on Estepinian in the back. And the referees call it back for a much-needed free kick for Hull, deep in their own half. And yeah, just a bit of a miscommunication between Peters and DK as the ball came in, and an off-the-ball incident. Chalobah looks to have impeded Estepinian, according to the referee. O'Shea does well to nod back to Griffiths from the long ball. Hull City are going to be preparing another change as we speak. We'll get more information on that when it comes. On the commentary hub, my name is Warren Bishop. You're listening to commentary on Hull City against West Bromwich Albion in the EFL Championship. As we approach the final 15 minutes, the Tigers lead by 2-0. Thanks to Benjamin Tete's effort and the Dara O'Shea own goal. And now the change is going to happen. And we're going to see who's coming off. It is going to be Longman. He was one of the 4 changes to come into the side today. He's put a very decent shift in Ryan Longman. And Aliyar Sayed Manesh is going to be coming on, the number 9 from Iran. Limited game time himself with Liam Rossini coming in. He will be coming on now to add to the firepower up top with Oscar Estepinian. And probably will be playing off that left-hand side now. As Hull City make their second change of the evening. Swift with the free kick into the box. It's flicked by Yakuşlu, but it is well wide again. This time from the Turkish international. And West Brom are running out of time in this game. Hull City prepared to make Albion wait, slow the game down as Ryan Longman is lauded by the Hull City supporters as he goes behind the goal. A very solid performance from him and from the whole Hull City team. And O'Shea looks to get it back to Griffiths, who has to come out and nod the ball to Chalobah. A very, very risky moment there. But Chalobah wins the free kick against Slater, who's very frustrated as he looked to win the ball back. Yakuşlu, Peters, as West Brom playing with a back three now. Peters going forward. Yakuşlu to O'Shea. Yakuşlu plays it to O'Shea. Adam Reach offering himself on the left-hand side, but it's worked wide right again to Albrighton. Down to Swift, and now to Wallace. Is this a chance? It's on the edge of the box to Adam Reach, and his right-footed effort is horribly dragged wide. A terrible effort from Adam Reach. Obviously, not his preferred side. You wouldn't have to guess there, looking at that effort. Horribly miscues it. Great build-up play. The ball bobbles as it goes into the turf, and it comes off the back of his foot. And again, another opportunity that West Brom have created and not taken in this game. And it's a real area of concern for Carlos Corberán, you feel. It's Chalobah to Peters, to Yakuşlu, and Gardner-Hickman, Reach, Peters, and that is a wild pass as he looks for DK, which sails out for a Hull City throw. And Hull City, this is exactly where they want to be. West Brom wasteful on the ball. Just about 12 minutes to go. They've got the possession. And they'll look to hold on to it for as long as possible as they look to see this game out. And what an impressive victory it would be. Of course, West Brom coming off the back of their 2-0 win over the most informed side in the division, Middlesbrough. For Hull to come and beat them 2-0, it's a real statement of intent from Liam Rossini's men. And there is going to be another change here for West Bromwich Albion, and we're going to see Rico Richards introduced for the Baggies. He is another academy graduate that has made the bench along with Joe and Malcolm due to the injury list that has gone up at West Brom. The only other senior appearance that Rico Richards has made was in the 6-0 defeat to Arsenal in the Carabao Cup all the way back in August 2021. So Rico Richards about to get his first taste of Championship football under Carlos Corberán. Obviously, the last time he made that appearance, Valérien Ismaël was the manager. And we've since had Steve Bruce, who has departed, as we said earlier, leaving West Brom bottom of the Championship. And now Chalobah on the left side to Adam Rich, swings it into John Swift, who rides the challenge, but it's a really poor pass. Chalobah looks for Swift on the left-hand side, finds him. Swift cuts infield on the right, finds Reach on that side as he plays the cross in as a Pilser handball against Coyle. Nothing given as he swings the ball away. And Chalobah picking it back up. Taylor Gardner-Hickman inside. Chalobah swings it wide right again to Mark O'Brien, who will put another cross in. It's cleared away again by Alfie Jones. They've defended the crosses from West Brom so well this evening, the Hull City defence. That back duo of Alfie Jones and Sean McLaughlin have done wonders at the back, and the change is now going to be made. Rico Richards introduced. He's going to replace Eric Peters for the Baggies. So a chance on the big stage for Rico Richards, the youngster, to make a name for himself. He's been playing a lot of his football with the under-23s in the Premier League 2 campaign. Now he gets his chance to show Carlos Corberán what he can do in this West Brom team. As Albion come forward again, as Yakushlu finds O'Shea. Or Brighton, a really, really poor pass as he looked to play in Taylor Gardner-Hickman. And it's picked up in the midfield now. It's Coyle. Blocked by Gardner-Hickman. And away for a Hull throw. About 9 minutes to go now, plus stoppage time. Hull City still having their 2-goal lead. And as I say, what an important win it would be for the Tigers. A win here for Liam Rosenior's men would see them push up to 13th in the table, just 3 points behind West Bromwich Albion. As we look at the stats there, 2 shots on target all game for Hull, 2 goals. Compared to West Brom, they've had 20 shots, 6 on target and no goals. That is the difference between being clinical and being not clinical in this game. And as I say, Hull City would go into 13th. West Brom would stay in 11th on 48 points. It'd be a really damaging defeat to their playoff hopes as the ball is whipped in towards the back post. Coyle again getting the flick away. It finds Rico Richards, who has his first touches on the left-hand side, and he forces a corner. Positive start for the youngster as he looks to get his side, or help his side get back into the game. Albion with this corner on the left-hand side. Swift takes towards the back post, but it's a comfortable collection for Carl Darlow. And again, that will waste precious seconds for Hull City. Now, Darlow with the ball in his hands. Pushes his players up again and goes long towards Coyle, and it flicks off Adam Reach and away for a Hull throw. Liam Rosenior pacing around his technical area as he looks to see the job through. In deep discussions with his assistant. For Hull City again, happy to run the clock down and waste any necessary time as they edge towards a massive, massive win at the MKM Stadium. Estupinian loses his balance and Adam Reach carries the ball. Taylor Gardner-Hickman now pushing forward for West Brom. He gets the ball wide to Albrighton. Infield to Gardner-Hickman. Back to O'Shea. Oh, and that is a really sloppy ball out again from West Brom. So many times they've done that today and given Hull possession. And McLaughlin goes back to Darlow. He launches long towards Estepinian, who again outjumped by Yakushlu. And Albion have the ball back with Taylor Gardner-Hickman. Albrighton clips that ball towards the back post. And again, it's an easy take for Carl Darlow in that Hull City goal. And it just doesn't look like it's meant to be for West Bromwich Albion tonight. 6 minutes to go. Taylor Gardner-Hickman can't help but clear the ball into touch for a Hull City throw. There's Liam Rosenior barking orders from his technical area to his players. We're going to see another change come here for Hull City. I think it's going to be another defender, and it is going to be Osan Tufan who is going to exit the stage. And Jacob Greaves is going to come on for Hull City as he looks to shore the game up at the back. The 22-year-old, his father, Mark Greaves, was a Hull City player, also played for York City, so following in his father's footsteps. Did start at Bristol City, but was brought out of the team tonight, but coming on for the final 5 minutes or so to help get his side over the line in this one. Hull City throw with Callum Elder on the left-hand side. It's played into touch by Oscar Estupinian. Well, I think it is perfect time to award our man of the match on the commentary hub, and we're going to give it to the number 30, Benjamin Tete. A superb opening goal in the first half to get us underway. A rare start for him under Liam Rosenior, repaid the faith after dropping Oscar Estepinian, and that has caused Hull City to go on to great things in this game and lead here 2-0. So our commentary hub man of the match is Benjamin Tete. And here is Nathaniel Chalabar for West Brom. Lays the ball off to Adam Reach. And now John Swift picking it up from deep and driving into the Hull half. But he can't take the ball with him, and Hull regain possession. Reach, though, comes back on the left-hand side. Excuse me. And it's Yakushla. Wide to O'Shea. Or Brighton. Lovely flick back there to turn away from Greaves, and he hooks the ball looking in for DK, who traps it down. Swift loses his balance as he tries to shoot, and Wallace goes in, and 3 Hull City defenders are back there to challenge. One of them is down injured. I don't know who hurtled himself at the ball, but John Swift couldn't get any meaningful touch on the ball as he looked to shoot at goal. DK did well to hold it down, and Jed Wallace came across 3 Hull City shirts that denied him in the end. And I don't know who's down here. It's Callum Elder that's down, that's put his body on the line like the rest of the Hull City back line today. Got a touch of cramp as well now. But that's how hard the Hull City players have worked, particularly at the back, to keep out this potent West Brom attack. As we're looking at some of the saves that Carl Darlow has made, and he equally could have been a shout for man of the match. It was very close between him and Tete. He's made a string of brilliant saves which have kept West Brom at bay on his Hull City home debut. Particularly that one from Adam Reach, that was a swirling effort which needed to be parried away. That was a very even contest for man of the match between Carl Darlow and Benjamin Tete. West Brom continue to come forward with Chalabar. Yakushlu finds Dara O'Shea. And now wide to Mark Albrighton. Jed Wallace back to Albrighton again. Whips the cross in towards DK. Dealt with again by Alfie Jones at the back, who heads it clear. Only as far as Albrighton. Gardner Hickman turns inside on his left foot, looking to get a shot away at goal. He goes down just outside the penalty area, and it's hooked clear again. O'Shea flicks it to Albrighton, but he can't keep it in. And we just have about a minute plus stoppage time to go here. It remains Hull City 2, West Bromwich Albion 0. And Liam Rosenior looking in a very positive mood now as the clock ticks away. So is the Hull City owner up in the stands. Let's just remember, Hull City have lost their last 6 games against West Bromwich Albion. So what a win this is to end that curse. A bit of a bogey team through the years for them to deal with. But they've taken the chances when it matters most. And West Brom have created chances, not taking them. In this second half, looked pretty toothless up front. Nothing to trouble the Hull City back line about. Chalabar swings the ball out wide to Dara O'Shea. And now it's Albrighton. Wallace, a really heavy touch, and he gives possession back to Hull again. And now it's Doherty. Wide to Coyle. And now it's back to DK. Goodness me, what was that ball by Daryl DK? Goodness me, I was in disbelief myself. It's an awful ball as he looked for Mark Albrighton. Maybe he saw a red shirt further up the pitch, who knows. And we trickle into stoppage time. 4 minutes added on here. West Brom need to score twice in the space of 4 minutes to just even get a point out of this game. And this is a real setback as far as they're concerned under Carlos Corberán and their promotion chase. O'Shea wins the header. It's now to Yakushlu. And back to Adam Reach. Gardner-Hickman now with Chalabar. Chalabar finds Swift into the middle for Rico Richards, who pushes the ball back to O'Shea. Chalabar, ball Brighton, gets to the byline. Will be a corner. Deflects off Elder. Behind for the corner on the right-hand side. Which will be taken by Swift. He looks to hurtle it into the penalty area. Towards Yakushlu, who can only flick it behind. To Gardner-Hickman, who will swing it back in the box. Towards that back post for O'Shea, who gets the flick on. It's headed away by Jones. Yakushlu and Chalabar fighting for it. But it's cleared away. And it's knocked back by Gardner-Hickman to Josh Griffiths. Gardner-Hickman once more. Who spreads the ball wide to O'Shea. It's back to Mark Albrighton, who feeds it forward looking for Rico Richards. He'll give chase on this right-hand side. He'll pick the ball up. Harried by McLaughlin. It's back to Swift, who digs the ball out for the cross. He'll find Adam Reach, whose right-footed effort again goes wide of the near post. And I think that will be that as far as the game is concerned. So what a 3 points this is going to be for Hull City, as we keep saying. Adam Reach was offside in the end, and the linesman's flag over on the far side did go up. But yes, Hull City, you would like to think now with 3 points are well and truly safe. 14 points clear of the bottom three now with games to play. But you look at it for West Brom. Are they going to make the playoffs now? They have got a run of games now between now and the March international break against the teams at the bottom. They've got to play Wigan on Tuesday, Huddersfield next weekend, and then a trip to Cardiff. So all is not over yet, but they've got to win those 3 games, you feel, to stay in the hunt. Here's Estupinha. Takes the ball down. Doherty is stripped by Yakushlu, and that is a free kick, and that will be a booking for Okay Yakushlu, the second booking of the evening for the Baggies. I don't think it's Yakushlu, actually. It's Tyler Gardner-Hickman, actually, that is booked. And he picks up his 3rd booking of the season. A rather frustrated trip there on Doherty. As we approach the end of the game, the final 30 seconds, Carl Darlow over this free kick. Darlow knocks it forward. It's dealt with by Reach as it looked to get to Estupinhan. Chalabar knocks it back to Yakushlu. The referee has a check of his watch and blows his whistle. It's finished here at the MKM Stadium. Hull City 2, West Bromwich Albion 0. And what a win for the Tigers, who propelled themselves 14 points clear of the bottom 3. And it was a fantastic strike in the first half, which opened proceedings from Benjamin Tete, rewarded for a start after a brilliant second half contribution last weekend at Bristol City, in replace of Oscar Estupinhan, which was a shock decision, but his rifled left-footed effort went straight into the top corner to send the Hull supporters wild. They doubled their lead in the second half. The corner whipped in from Tufan from the left-hand side, and it looked to have been heading into his own net by Dara O'Shea. West Brom huffed and puffed. They had chances. They weren't clinical with them, and once for Jed Wallace and Daryl DK, which were expertly denied by Carl Darlow. But with 2 shots on target all evening, Hull scored both of them and ultimately come away with the 3 points. Hull rise to 13th on 45 points. Is West Brom's playoff chase all but over? They remain on 48 points now with just 12 games to play. I hope you enjoyed the action on the commentary hub with myself. It was a pleasure to make my commentary hub debut this evening. Full time at the MCAM Stadium. It's finished Hull City 2, West Bromwich Albion 0. Have a good evening.